Right, welcome back everyone. So today I wanted to talk to you about, or actually demonstrate a Jeff Loomis type sequence, arpeggiated sweep picking sequence. We'll do the same as last week. We'll go through, have a look at the lick, demonstration of the lick, and then we'll come back and discuss the lick further. So let's have a look at it. So let's have actually a little talk about the lick itself, and see what kind of technique Jeff uses on that solo. I personally love that little sequence he does. He uses it in other stuff. I've heard some songs from Conquering Dystopia where he uses a similar kind of idea with his arpeggios. So let's break it down. Let's have a look what he's doing. So he's beginning off, and obviously like last time, the tabs are included in the link below. Please subscribe to my page as well. I'll be, again, keep posting content, and any comments is always appreciated. If you need any help with any of these licks or anything else, just shoot me a message and I should be able to help you. Right, okay, so let's have a look. The sequence begins with an F sharp minor arpeggiated sequence, arpeggiated sweep picked exercise. So we're beginning with on the 14th fret of E. Now what we're doing, everything is in sextuplet in this passage. So we're going 14th fret of E into the 10th fret of E, 12th fret of B, 11th fret of G. Now what happens here? So on the first passage we're going back up straight away. So we're just doing a 3 note per string, a very Malmsteen kind of influence, 3 note per string, 3 string arpeggio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is your 6th note of the sextuplet. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then at that point, Jeff goes back to play the entire arpeggio all the way down the 5 strings. So we're going 14th of E, 10th of E, 12th of B, 11th of G, 12th of D, into the 14th of A, and then finishing off on the 9th of A, which is the root note of F sharp. So. And we go all the way back up the arpeggio. So the first bar effectively. Okay, the first 3/4 of a bar because we've got a little bit more to do. And then we repeat the sort of three string arpeggio here. Right. So that's for the first bar. Now what he does in the second bar, this is when he gets really interesting, and he does that again in quite a lot of songs on his solos. He keeps that same shape, but he keeps moving the notes on the top to create a melody. So we're going like this. So what's happening here? We're changing the note on the top note, the starting note of the arpeggio from 14, 13, 14 to 13, back to 14, 15, and back to 14. So we finished off the bar starting on the 14th, the previous bar. Then we go into the 13th. Then we're back on the 14th. Then we're back on the 15th. And we're back on the 14th. And that's the first sequence of arpeggio he's doing for that F sharp chord. Now, it's important to note that, when you watch the video I did on the demo, On the slower bit, I was pretty much picking through everything. But just like Jeff, I'm pretty sure as I got the tempos got faster, a lot of the times I was using what I call more legato approach to the sweep pick. So what that would mean. So the reason for that, let me explain. I've done a lesson on that. If you go through my links, you'll find a lesson. The idea about sort of legato playing is on the way back to the arpeggio. For instance, here I'm actually hammering that note very often. Yeah, it allows me to go faster, but it also eliminates a lot of the friction between the pick and the strings. And it keeps your playing generally quite clean. Now, the reason I'm saying that I'm pretty certain Jeff Loomis uses that. It's very hard to hear it because he plays so cleanly with or without a pick. But the reason I think he does that is Jeff Loomis does play a lot of economy picking, and he likes to keep things extremely clean. So he's actually very economical in his way of playing, which could mean that he's probably using a little bit, that technique is creeping in where he's using the legato playing in some of these arpeggio. Listen, there is no shame in doing that because it sounds good. It sounds, it sounds clean. Remember, I've talked about due diligence in the past. It sounds clean. As long as you're sounding clean, doesn't matter whether you're picking all the notes or not. You can pick them if you want, but I know that when I'm doing it at high speed, a lot of the time that little technique is creeping in for me as well. Okay, so that's for the first sequence on F sharp. At that point, what's happened? So we're going from here. Oops. We're in the second sweep here. So what we're doing now, we're playing an F sharp major arpeggio. Okay, so let's look at how those shapes go. So a slightly bigger stretch. Remember when you're having a big stretch like that to make sure that your hand is really nicely placed here. You've got a big gap between the bottom of your neck and your palm as well. So you've got a lot of space to do your stretches here. Jeff has got huge hands. So, so you're basically here, you're going 14th to the 9th. Now this is where the difficult sweeps come. Now, if you've never really done sweep, this is where you're going to struggle a little bit. This is where you're going to have to roll your finger because the next 3 notes are going to be on the same fret going across 3 different strings. So you're going to have to roll your finger. Do you see how I roll my finger there? So we're going 14, 9, 10, 10, 10. Make it clean. Again, make sure it doesn't sound like that. Right? So we're going 14, 10. Actually, sorry, my apologies. The beginning of the lick starts with 14, 9, 10, 10, and we back up again because we're doing half of the arpeggio. Then we're doing the full arpeggio all the way down. So 14, 10, 9, 10, 10, 10, 4, 13, 9 of A, which is back to the root. So, okay, and then we finish off this bar with an extra bit of those three string arpeggio. And then starts the movement of the phrase underneath that. So in this case, we're going 14, 12, 14, 15, 14. Right, so that's the first 2 sequences. So again, just to quickly show them again. Right, and after that, the lick basically uses pretty much the same technique throughout. So just follow the tab on that. It's literally the same 2 arpeggios, but we're playing them from 2 frets. So we started on the 14th. We're now going to end up on the 12th, which is effectively going to be playing an E minor arpeggio and then an E major arpeggio. And the way I thought sort of finished off this song as well, the lick as well, I finished off with an E major arpeggio, and then jumped up there. Another major arpeggio, which is basically, in this case, a B major arpeggio. Right? And then a little exit note. Okay? So, just to summarize again, just when you're playing this kind of arpeggio where you have to go back and forth, using the technique of legato playing would help. Try to work on your rolling of your fingers here. That's the trickiest, I would say, probably the trickiest bit. So try to work on those little rolling arpeggios, and give it a shot. Again, do start slowly, take your time, build up. This is not an easy thing to play. To play it as clean as Jeff does, it takes a lot of work. I hope this helps, and I'll see you next time. Take care.